What's up guys, we're back here at Gozney HQ and we've got bone marrow and we're making filet mignon and we're doing that with a bone marrow butter, cooked in the dome, nice high heat. Let's get it. First job, bone marrow needs to get roasted. Nice high heat in the oven, bit of oil on there, bit of salt. Whack that in until it's cooked through. It might take about 10 to 12 minutes. It's gonna get a little bit colored on top, but the bone marrow wants to be soft in the middle. That's what we're looking for. Confit garlic is basically garlic cooked in oil. So olive oil, and you put the garlic in a pan, cover it with olive oil, little splash of water, pinch of salt, and you cook it slowly until you don't really want any color on the garlic. It's nicely soft, you can see it's soft. It's naturally caramelized. If it's darker than this, then it's gonna taste burnt. You can see it's really soft and you can just squeeze it with your finger and it's gonna taste sweet. It's not too overly pungent. You're not gonna have garlic breath for days, basically. Oi! Just make sure. So just test it's done. It's done at the top, but it's a bit thicker at the bottom. The knife's still taking a bit of time to get through, and if I touch on my lip, it's still cold, so that's not cooked. So give it another few minutes. Okay, so the bone marrow is cooked. Because we need to put it in the butter, we need to cool it down quickly. So best thing to do, just pick up the bone marrow, get your best kitchen tea towel, and just scoop it out like that. Scoop it out, straight into the bowl. So you just literally, because it's so soft, you just spoon. Oh. Oh. Okay, so bone marrow butter. I've just been cooling down the bone marrow that I scooped out earlier, and that just goes in with the butter. Okay. Oh, look at all that. Juicy. And then we go salt. Just make sure we're using unsalted butter. Nice bit of salt, pepper. 6 cloves of garlic. Some lemon zest. And then we're just going to mash it all up with this whisk. We're just going to put that in the fridge just to cool down slightly so it's not so... So I've got myself a heavy base cast iron pan and I'm going to sear this in the pan in the oven, okay? So we're going to get this pan nice and hot. So in she goes. Raging hot. Wait 5 minutes. First things first, we need to season the steak. So it's gonna go with salt, and you can just roll it in the salt. We'll get a good bit of seasoning on the outside. Then we can also just put a little bit of oil on there, just to make sure it's gonna sear up nicely, okay? It's not very fatty, this fillet. That's the fillet ready to go, okay? I'm gonna whip out this raging hot pan. It's probably gonna set fire to my tea towel. Okay, that is hot. Okay, we're gonna put a bit of oil in there. Not too much oil, because when we put it back in the oven, it will set on fire, okay? Get that fillet in there. Let's get it straight back in the oven. Use all parts of the pan to sear it off, yeah? Because we put it on one part, and that's gonna get cold. And then we've got to put it on the next part to sear it off. And then we're gonna put it on the next part, so when we turn the steak, we go into different parts of the pan, yeah? Oh, sorry, I forgot to say, it's very important to make sure your steak is at room temperature. We don't want to be cooking cold piece of meat. That's seared on one side. I've just moved it up the other end of the pan. It's gonna sear. Oh, we don't want it to set on fire, because that makes the oil really taste disgusting. Okay, so because obviously we're roasting it in an oven and not in a pan on its own, it's cooking from all sides all the time. So you've just got to be aware of that for cooking time. So this actually won't take very long. Beef fillet I like to eat on the rarer side of medium rare. Just look at that. So we've almost got a full char on the outside. It's only been in there for a couple of minutes. So we're going to whip that out in very shortly. It's not going to take much longer, to be honest. I'll whip that out. Look at that, we've got lovely crust all over and we just literally rolled it around in the pan. Take that out, you want to rest the steak, because obviously it's going to keep cooking if you leave it in the hot pan. I'm touching that steak now and it feels roasting hot. So once it feels like you can hold it for a few seconds, the heat's not going into the middle and it's not coming out. It's like that's as cooked as it's going to be, if that makes sense. I'm just going to put some butter in there and then we can toss the steak through the butter to give it some more heat. So that's it. Whoa. He's done that before 39 times. So I'm just going to roll the steak through the butter just to get a little bit more heat in there and then baste it over. So how to tell if it's cooked, you can put a skewer inside, or if you've got a temperature probe, put that in it. And it wants to be around sort of 42. You touch that on your lip. If it feels hot, it's too hot. If it just feels warm, nice and warm, that's what you're looking for. Beef is nicely rested. We're going to cut it straight through the middle, across that way. That is perfectly cooked. Beef on the plate. Very nice to use the lovely burnt bone marrow butter that we've got here. It's a nice little small one. Straight across the top. Bit of salt on there. And you can serve that with whatever you want. Anyway, lovely bit of beef, cooked perfectly. For me, everyone's different. I mean, it's gonna be so tender. Buttery, smoky. The seagulls can smell it. They ain't getting any. Neither are you guys. I'll eat this all myself. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Tom Straker, and you can find the recipe at Gozney.com. Cheers.